This July, the lunar north node will retrograde into the fire sign of Aries, while the lunar south node retrogrades into the air sign of Libra. The lunar nodes are not actually physical bodies, they are calculated points, and they happen to move counter to the other planetary bodies in our solar system. So they'll start in a sign at the 29th degree and move backwards towards 0 degrees. The moon's nodes change signs approximately every 18 months or so. So the nodes will be in the Aries-Libra axis until January 2025. The lunar nodes are always opposite each other, exactly 180 degrees apart. The nodes are located at the intersection points of where the moon's orbit crosses the ecliptic, the apparent path the sun makes around the Earth. In reality, the Earth is orbiting the sun. All the planets in our solar system are found close to the ecliptic plane. It is also where all the signs of the zodiac are located in the night sky. The south lunar node in a natal chart represents the karma and experiences brought from the past. The north lunar node represents the direction our soul wants to evolve towards. In a transit chart, the lunar nodes indicate the direction that we, as a human collective, need to grow and evolve. For the past 18 months, our karmic soul mission has been to move away from the chaos of Scorpio into the calm of Venus-ruled Taurus. For many, I'm sure it must feel like we're still living the South Node in Scorpio. Remember that not everyone is at the same point in their soul evolution. Also, the cycle of the lunar nodes repeats every 18 years, so we'll have another chance to get it right in a couple decades. On July 17th, the nodes will move into the Aries-Libra axis. The north node will be in the sign of Aries, and the south node will be in the sign of Libra. The Aries-Libra axis deals with individual personalities versus relationships with others. With the south node in Libra, society as a whole has been very focused on our relationships with others. Those relationships have been partners, groups, or even countries. In a sense, many of you have been subjugating your own sense of self for the greater good. Remember that Libra will struggle to maintain harmony at all costs. The North Node in Aries is now focused on your own self-identity. The evolutionary goal for the next 18 months is to seek your true self. It is time to let it shine. From a more spiritual perspective, the Aries North Node symbolizes the evolution of each unique soul, and the Libra South Node symbolizes where we have come from, the divine collective soul. Each of our souls is evolving at its own pace and in its own way. We are still part of the one, but the reason we have been personalized uniquely is to share those unique experiences once we are all one again. To better understand how the Aries North Node, Libra South Node will affect us, let us take a look at what happened previously. The last time the lunar nodes entered this particular Aries-Libra configuration was on December 26, 2004. I was quite shocked when I saw that date. That was within a week of when my first husband left me. Talk about an example of an opposition between Aries representing the individual and Libra representing the relationship. Cautiously, I then looked back another 18 years to the previous time we began another Aries North Node transit. It was on April 6, 1986. On July 27th of that year, my beloved father died of cancer. I already knew that my first Saturn return occurred in December of 1986. Now it looks like two important planetary alignments occurred during the year of his passing. The loss of another important relationship in my life. This is not to imply that a transiting Aries North Node, Libra South Node, is a harbinger of doom and gloom for all your personal relationships. but it does seem to indicate the need to balance your self-identity and your relationship identity. Perhaps it is time to evaluate whether you're taking proper care of you. Remember, you need to take care of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually so that you can then take care of others. In many ways, a consistent theme in astrology is the opposition. The full moon is in opposition. A lunar eclipse is in opposition. The lunar nodes are in opposition. The chart itself by sign and house represents concepts that are in opposition. Oppositions are best managed through balancing the energies of both sides. So you will need to work on the North Node concepts of independence, autonomy, and self-reliance. You'll also need to balance and work through any karma you're experiencing from your past relationships due to the South Node. The lunar nodes, Pluto and the Sun, will form a grand cross almost exactly on July 22nd. It will be a cardinal grand cross with the lunar nodes, Pluto and the Sun at 29 degrees and within minutes of each other. By orb, Pluto and the nodes are in a T-square configuration for a good portion of 2023, while Pluto dances between Capricorn and Aquarius. This cardinal grand cross is occurring shortly after the nodes change sign, so there'll be a series of energetic changes happening in the month of July. The most rapidly moving planet, the Sun, will shortly leave the cardinal sign of Cancer and enter Leo. But this moment activates the initiating energy of all the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Cardinal crosses are connected with issues of identity. You can feel overextended with 4 planets and points all pulling in different elemental directions, fire, water, air, and earth respectively. Essentially, it is an identity crisis. It begs you to ask the following questions. Who am I? Which represents fire. How do I feel about this? Which represents water. How do I speak my truth? Which represents air. And how will this affect my well-being? Which represents earth. Isn't it interesting that this cardinal grand cross of identity is happening 5 days after the North Node, our universal soul mission, moves into the sign of Aries, representing the individual? Neptune in the water sign of Pisces is sextile Pluto in the earth sign of Capricorn. Neptune is the ruler of the sign of Pisces, so the mysterious, elusive character of Neptune is enhanced by the intuitive, psychic nature of Pisces. Pluto is the planet of transformation, but remember, Pluto also represents power and control. And Pluto, as it finalizes its transit through Capricorn and on into Aquarius next year, can easily demonstrate both of these qualities. During Neptune's sextile Pluto, these aspects of the life you know may pass out of existence, bringing you to a new place in which to make a new start. It does not have to be a difficult transit, but if you try to control whatever needs to change, it can be. These changes are part of the cycle of life. Since you're dealing with outer planets, these changes are likely influenced by the larger forces of society. Regardless, you will be personally impacted by them. In a sense, it is a time to be reborn to a new level of existence. It is up to you to choose the path of power and control, or the path of transformation. Just remember, with a slow-moving outer planet aspect like this, all souls will be experiencing the same choices, and some may not choose as wisely. The next day, on July 23rd, Pluto will exactly square the lunar nodes. This exact configuration will occur twice during the month of July 2023. The Sun will have moved into Leo, thus breaking up the cardinal cross. It is now a more diffused, out-of-sign Grand Cross. But the T-square with Pluto is something we should look at in more detail. What does Pluto in Capricorn bring to the picture? Planets squaring the nodes generally act as distractions during this lifetime. These planets can detour you from completing your soul mission. In the case of transiting planets, which can affect anyone, they indicate karma from past actions that can distract humanity from moving forward. Pluto has been in the Earth sign of Capricorn for the past 15 years. Once it fully transitions to Aquarius in January 2024, it will remain in Aquarius for the next 20 years. Pluto is a generational planet, so its impact is long and deep. In Capricorn, Pluto transformed our government and corporate structures. This major aspect with the lunar nodes is the last significant one with Pluto until it moves into Aquarius. Once Pluto is in Aquarius, it will help us reform society and groups, breaking them down and rebuilding them if necessary. In a sense, this is an attempt by Pluto in Capricorn to influence personal soul growth through government and corporate control. And being Pluto, elements of that influence have been very dark and dangerous. The brief transit of the Sun in Leo will stabilize the T-square and strongly reinforce the North Node in Aries. After all, the Sun rules Leo and is definitely all about the individual. And, as I said before, it is time for everyone to let their light shine through the darkness. The second time Pluto will exactly T-square the lunar nodes is on July 28th. So Pluto in Capricorn is once again the apex planet of the T-square. But now the stabilizing energy of the Sun is decreasing. The missing fourth leg will increase the instability of the configuration and thus the pressure on Pluto. Finally, the conjunction of Mercury and Venus will trine the North Node in Aries and sextile the South Node in Libra. Trines to the North Node will enhance your current life experiences. They'll help you move more smoothly towards the transiting North Node, the universal soul mission for the next 18 months. Sextiles to the South Node tend to make things easier and more pleasant. Together, Mercury and Venus will assist you in communicating with others and letting them know how you feel. This transit may help clear past issues out of the way. You'll be better able to balance your need for personal space and your relationships with loved ones. In summary, on July 17th, the lunar North Node will move into Aries, while the lunar South Node moves into Libra. In a transit chart, the lunar nodes indicate the direction that we, as a human collective, need to grow and evolve. The Aries-Libra axis deals with individual personalities versus relationships with others. With the South Node in Libra, society as a whole has been very focused on our relationships with others. Many of you have been subjugating your own sense of self for the greater good. Remember that Libra will struggle to maintain harmony at all costs. The North Node in Aries is now focused on your own self-identity. It is time to let your true self shine. On July 22nd, 5 days after the nodes change sign, they will form a cardinal grand cross at 29 degrees with the Pluto and the Sun. Cardinal crosses are concerned with issues of identity. It begs you to ask yourself the following questions. Who am I? How do I feel about this? How should I speak my truth? How will this affect my well-being? Isn't it interesting that this cardinal grand cross of identity is happening only days after the North Node, our universal soul mission, moves into the sign of Aries, which represents the individual? While the Sun moves on, the remains of the Grand Cross will be a T-square between the lunar nodes and Pluto, which will be exact on July 23rd and again on July 28th. challenging you to resolve the questions about yourself, your truth, and your feelings. The conjunction of Mercury and Venus will trine the North Node in Aries and sextile the South Node in Libra, and help you move forward more smoothly. Together, Mercury and Venus will assist you in communicating with loved ones and letting them know how you feel. This transit may help clear past issues out of the way. You'll be better able to balance your need for personal space and your relationships with loved ones. Softening all these energies is the sextile with Neptune and Pluto, which will force both planets to cooperate with each other. With the influence of Neptune in Pisces, you have the potential to live the life of your dreams, and with the pragmatic, transformative energies of Pluto in Capricorn, you will have the energy and the drive to achieve them. Thank you for watching. If you would like to be notified of future videos, please subscribe and click the notify bell icon so you'll know when new videos come out. If you enjoyed the video, please click on the thumbs up icon.